Your phone can do a lot, from texting, watching YouTube videos, navigating, and yes, brain rot. But what if I told you that you can set up your phone in a way that you can basically keep doom scrolling and keep doing the same things that you're doing normally on your phone, but learn a language at the same time? I know this sounds too good to be true, but let me show you how I turned my phone into a language learning machine. So for most people, studying a language or actually learning a language is such a big struggle and it's so hard to actually do because of two major problems. On the one hand, it is so hard to actually find time in our everyday lives to study a language. Because let's face it, we're all busy, we all have our lives, and when we come home tired from work, from school, from university, whatever it is, whatever you got to do in your everyday life, like you basically want to get done what you have to get done in that day and then chill. And the outlook of like investing another like 3 hours after work, or like after like from 6 to 9 p.m. every day, the idea of putting in loads of hours every day after all the obligations that you have in your day is just super tiring. And number two, where the hell should you start? Because if you're not like one of those ultra crazy polyglots that study like 20 languages and study one more language every single month, it is not even easy to find out where you start and what you do and how do you actually get to your goal. You maybe attend like language classes or buy a textbook or download some app, but the first time you visit France and you try to order a croissant, like it is a disaster.
Un pain au chocolat.
Un, pas une. Un pain au chocolat.
A couple of years ago, I had an idea that was like, I felt like Einstein of language learning. So hear me out. It's basically so hard to find time for anything these days. But what if I told you that you have like 3 to 6 hours on average every day that are available to you to basically study a language? Because we all know it, but the statistical average human being spends around like 5 to 6 hours every single day on our screens, on our smartphones, on our computers, whatever it is. This is like horrible for so many reasons. We waste so much time. We consume so much bad content that is either wasting our time, is pure brain rot, is making us depressed or anxious, or we just plainly addicted. And in this channel, I normally explore ways to reduce your screen time and to be some sort of a digital minimalist. But your smartphone and the algorithms behind it can be both. They can be the devil or a saint. And what if you could basically use this machine that is built to make us addictive? To have this algorithm that wants us to spend hours every day on it to not only get us entertained, but to make progress on our target language. If this sounds too good to be true, hear me out, because this is a way how I skyrocketed my language learning progress with just little changes in my everyday life, how I approach my smartphone. And I want to show you my method as well. So the first thing is, and it sounds absurd, but to change your phone's language to the target language that you actually want to study. For most people, this sounds like super absurd because I won't understand anything. I won't find anything on my phone. It will be a pure disaster and it will be just super stressful to do basically anything on my phone. And hear me out. Yes, I understand the fear of it, but making the switch is actually not as hard as you think, because let's face it, we're creatures of habit and we basically can find anything on our phones without even like looking at the text, because there are all these icons and they're like patterns that we're already used to. So don't worry that you basically won't find anything important. And why this is such a brilliant method is because most of us don't have that much time every day to read tons of text, to read the newspaper, to read books, to read blog posts or so, because language experts advise us to like read like 1,000 to 2,000 of words every single day, but the fact of the matter is that this is super hard. But knowing that the statistical human being spends about 6 hours every day on your phone and reads plenty of texts, not only messages, but also all the names on your phone, all the settings, how everything basically works on your phone, internet things, social media, etc. and so on, you read a lot. And if you would switch this to your target language, you get so much language exposure for free. You get so many new words that you have never encountered before, like basically for free. And I think this is phenomenal. Depending on the app, like you get exposed to so useful words. For example, I'm on a diet right now and I'm tracking calories, and in my app, I will see all the words for like food, and all the things about eating in the target language. Whenever I play Minecraft and change the settings, the Minecraft interface will change to the target language as well. And suddenly I will see like millions of new words that I've never encountered before on Minecraft, which is phenomenal. Number 2, we're gonna build up on this, and I want you to create a new account in your social media platform of choice. We're probably all guilty of it. In my case, it is YouTube, but for you, it might be Instagram, might be TikTok. It could be Twitter, Pinterest, Blue Sky, Tumblr. If you're on Tumblr, what the hell are you doing? And I want you to create a new separate account. Don't worry, I don't want you to ditch your normal social media account, but I want you to create a normal new account and spend one full evening consuming only content, but only in your target language. This works best on Instagram Reels, TikTok, or YouTube Shorts, in my opinion. And I want you to spend like one evening like just scrolling, just watching, just like consuming all the bullshit that is basically on there, but only in your target language. One way is, for example, to start with an influencer or a comedian. I like to watch comedy skits or so. In your target language, you find like one starting video and then let your algorithm like recommend you new videos based on that. And whenever there's something in your normal language that you don't want to study, then immediately swipe away so the algorithm knows what you actually want to study, what you actually want to watch, and it is the languages, the videos in your target language. And I think this is phenomenal because TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels are literally designed. It's literally how they are designed at Google, at TikTok, Tencent, or Meta, where they develop these platforms. It is to make you spend as much time on them as possible. They're super addictive, they're flashy, they're shiny. Every 10 seconds there's like some interruption. And if you can harness that power of this super addictive, basically I think in my opinion stupid shit, but make it work for you and make you like listen to so much content, then you basically unlock such a treasure. Because 4 hours of doom scrolling, most people would agree that this is a waste of time. But 4 hours of doom scrolling in your target language, I mean, this is language exposure that feels like nothing, that feels fun, that is basically addictive. But you're 4 hours exposed to your target language. And again, where I started earlier, try finding 4 hours after work and listen to 4 hours to an audiobook or so. Plus, I think that like social media is like really useful because there you will encounter native speech. I think social media is awesome for language learning because I highly contribute the rise of the internet, or the fact that I spent so much time as a teenager on the internet that I basically can't speak English nowadays. Number 3. I always like to say, let's use the advantages of AI before it destroys humanity. Now, let's not let it get that far, but AI can work like a superpower when it comes to language learning. And there are dozens of ways how you can actually use AI. You can create like exercises, you can create texts or so. But one of the things that is like the hardest about language learning, and mostly if you're like kind of me, like some sort of an introvert, doesn't like to talk to people that much, then finding like someone to talk to is really hard, especially in your target language. AI is just super helpful, and I make it really quick. Go on the app, for example, ChatGPT, and go into the audio chat mode, whatever it's called there. And I always like to say something like this. Hi there, so I want you to be my language tutor and my language exchange talking mate.
Bien sûr, je serais ravie de t'aider à pratiquer le français. Commençons tout de suite. Comment s'est passée ta journée aujourd'hui?
Très bien, très bien. Dans ces moments, je fais une vidéo pour YouTube.
C'est génial. De quoi parle ta vidéo? Est-ce que tu partages des conseils ou des expériences personnelles?
And this is super nice. I often do this like when driving, or when I have like just spare minutes, or when cleaning or doing some chores. When I have some spare minutes left, it's super nice to get a free language partner. And of course, this doesn't replace like real people that you can talk to, but it is definitely better than nothing. And if you like stick to the limits of the free plan, it is free, and this is awesome. And the next step is like to just put massive amounts of media in your target language on your phone. Like all things that you would normally do on your phone. We talked about like changing language setting, the default language to your target language, but all the things that you normally do on your phone, I want you to try to do at least like 10% of that in your target language. That means if you're reading websites, if you're reading the news, try to do that in your target language. If you're watching Netflix, if you're watching YouTube videos, I said earlier, try to do just a little bit of that in your target language. If you listen to podcasts, do that in your target language. If you listen to music, listen to songs in your target language. I mean, if it wasn't for music and for bands like Grupa Kino in Russian, for example, I learned so many words listening to music in my target language, which is a phenomenal way because you, in your head at least, or sing along with the songs, and you listen to songs multiple times. It helps with the pronunciation, it helps you learning new vocabulary, which is phenomenal in my opinion. Last but not least, get Duolingo and put like this tiny widget on your home screen, because Duolingo is like hated on by many experts in the language learning community, but I think that is not that fair, because yes, Duolingo won't make you fluent per se, absolutely not, no, absolutely not, but it is a nice way to stay or to keep you committed to the language and to actually do something a little bit every day on your phone for your target language. And basically 3 things that I really much like is that on the one hand, you build up a streak. And this is super nice because once you have like a 100-day streak, you absolutely do not want to break that streak, and you like really almost mentally forced to do something today. And number 2, it is just something, a little bit, some new vocabulary, some repetition, something that you do in your target language every day. And you don't study or learn a language by investing like 20 hours today, but by doing like, for example, 20 minutes for the next 5 years every single day. Get what I mean? And number 3, like that is a friend streak, and you really don't want these streaks with your friends to break. And this is like additionally motivating. I really like Duolingo in that regard, and you might want to check it out. And if this widget is on your home screen and this little bird threatens to kill you if you don't do your Duolingo, I don't know, I just really like this method and I feel like it's super motivating.
It's either Spanish or Spanish. No es una petición, no I demand it.
I think the biggest reason why I nowadays am actually basically able to speak fluent English is the fact that I spend so much time on the internet consuming things in my target language and just studying the language in my free time. And setting up your phone is a great way to actually do this. But if you want to take this a step further, and whatever language it is, get to the next level in that language, then make sure to check out this video right here where I talk about the method that I use, the input theory, that research has basically shown so many times is just one of the most effective forms of actually studying a language. I go through it and how it all works, and if that sounds interesting, make sure to watch this video. Besides that, thank you as always so much for watching, and see you next time.